Good evening, welcome to Humberside. The sacking itself, well, not so confusing. Hull have lost their last 4, they've been defensively dreadful, and they failed to take advantage of a positive start. To put it politely though, sacking a manager less than 9 hours before kick-off is unconventional. Waiting the entire international break before making a move like that, even more confusing. Chairman Adjan Elagella said in a statement this morning it had become clear his views and those of Shota Arveladze were not aligned. And so the rebuild Arveladze started. He was allowed to sign 16 players in the summer, will be continued by someone else. At the moment, it's first team coach Andy Dawson. Long-term fans will have their wish list. There is an excellent stadium here. Until the last few weeks, there have been renewed optimism around the direction of the club. You'd imagine more than a few managers will be interested in the vacancy. Meanwhile, direction and strategy is something Luton have in spades. Last season's playoff semi-finalists starting to find their rhythm, and a win here will put them in the playoff places for tonight at least. And as Dan Windle was saying, Nathan Jones in his 3rd season back with the Hatters is now the division's third longest serving manager. The players are out. We've been entertained by a light show pre-match. The pyrotechnics were blazing away on the far side of the pitch, and the team that Andy Dawson has named, or maybe it was Shota Arveladze yesterday, looks like this. I'm hoping maybe to create some fireworks themselves. Baxter's the goalkeeper, Coyle, Jones, Greaves and Elder the back 4. Woods and Slater holding in a midfield 2, with Longman, Tufan and Pelkas behind the top scorer, Oscar Estepinian up front. The bench for Hull: Ingram, Figueiredo, Doherty, Cynic, who could make his debut this evening, McLaughlin, Seri, who came back late from international duty, and that may be part of the reason he's on the bench, and Christie. As for Luton Town, just the one change from the 2-0 win over Blackburn Rovers before the break. Ethan Hovas, the goalkeeper, in front of him, a 3-4-1-2. Potts, Lockyer and Burke the back 3. Across midfield from left to right, Bell, Clark, Lansbury and Bree. Alan Campbell will be just behind Elijah Adebayo and Carlton Morris up front. The benches... We just pause there for a moment. The players around the centre circle. The bench for Luton, Isted, the goalkeeper, Cornick and Panzu, who's back after 5 months out and on the bench tonight for Luton. Onyedinma, Osho, Jerome and Doughty. As the Hull players go into a huddle, Matt Murray, what will Andy Dawson have been able to do in the limited time available to try and get something different from Hull City than they've been getting before the break?
Well, very little to answer your question, Mike. Just say go out there, leave it all out there. You've had 4 on the bounce defeats. Get out there. You should be desperate to start putting this right. Impress whoever's watching and just do it for yourselves.
We're underway with Luton Town all in white this evening, attacking from left to right as we look at it, attacking the south stand. There's a long diagonal towards Carlton Morris is defended. Hull City in their regular home strip of orange and black stripes, black shorts and socks. Luton, as I say, all in white, with a long ball forward looking for Morris again. The flick on is cut out, and immediately Luton trying to get the ball forward into the Hull City final third early. Throw-in taken far too in advance of the position it should be, and so James Bloomington, who's our referee this evening, will have it set back here on Talksport to your home of the EFL.
He'll take it from the same place, I bet you.
I think you're absolutely right. It's got the halfway line to look at here, just behind the halfway line, but it was on the cheeky few steps there from Callum Elder. Estepinian trying to get involved on the left wing, just a few yards from the touchline, put out a play, encouraged the home fans, as again across comes a Luton defender in the shape of Reece Burke to head clear. Throw in 15 yards from the corner flag here for Hull City. Left hand side, Callum Elder drying the ball on his shirt. He's going to lean back against the advertising hoardings and go for a long one. He's actually offered short and gets it back. Left-footed cross, first time towards the back post. Up go the heads. It's Amari Bell who's got there first, takes it out towards the left-hand side and then goes long towards Adebayo. Halfway line for him. Nice touch to take it away from his man. And now there's a Luton break coming forward here. In towards the edge of the area. Campbell wanted it, but the ball just sails behind him and is run and out for a Hull City goal kick. 0-0 on Talksport 2. We've had nearly 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I thought it was good defending from Bell at the back post, and then Jordan Clark obviously got onto the nice layoff from Adebayo. Really good hold-up play from him, lovely little feet. He's a big guy, isn't he, but good control. Then the break, but Clark just overhit it on this zippy surface, but started at a decent tempo, and that's what I'd expect from Hull as well. They come out of the traps quickly. Dawson's a legend here. You heard them singing his name, didn't you, before kick-off? And the fans will be trying to get behind him, but yeah, decent chance there for Luton.
Yeah, over 300 appearances as a Hull City player, Andy Dawson, and he's watching as the ball's sent towards the byline. The cross coming in first time again, this time from Regan Slater. It's cut out, and it's going to be a Hull City throw again near this corner flag on the left hand side. James Newton is saying what? It should be a throw a yard from the corner flag.
Yeah, he's so particular.
Well, he is. He has been, certainly in his opening minutes. As the voice and the decibel levels rise inside the MKM Stadium. Cleared pretty straightforwardly though, and here come Luton through Jordan Clark up to halfway. Amari Bell has a Hull City defender in front of him, and they've just had to go back into their own half towards Dan Potts, captain for Luton Town. Crossfield diagonal cut out by Elder with his head. Head tennis continuing in the Hull City half, dropping in midfield here to Lansbury, who will just turn it square, and then in the look down the right hand channel for the run of Adebayo. And they've looked for that ball into that area. They do look to be targeting the gap maybe between Jacob Greaves and Callum Elder in these early stages to Luton Town.
Yeah, and Adebayo's coming to the side. He's going to have a point to prove, and I think he looks already like he's going to link plays. He's a couple of nice touches, and yeah, they're looking at those gaps and wondering how well drilled this back four is, because they have conceded a lot of goals this season, so they'll believe that they will get joy. Luton score goals, Hull concede them, so yeah, you can see that Luton already are trying to find those gaps.
It is the worst defence in the Championship by a long way, is Hull City's. They've conceded twice in each of their last 6 games, and they've conceded 3 in each of the last 2. I mean, it's been a miserable run defensively, and some of the mistakes that were being made, individual errors in the Swansea game, and they lost that game 3-0. Swansea hit the bar 3 times as well in that match. It could have been so much worse. A late challenge comes in, bit of a trip, and so Hull City will have a free kick just inside the Luton half. Jordan Clark, the offender there.
Perfect conditions now, aren't they? Driving up it was horrendous, but now it's that clear, it's still, zip on the surface, under the lights. You don't want to play football tonight, you never do. This is perfect.
And the atmosphere is certainly a lot different than perhaps it would have been had a managerial change not been made today. It seems to have lifted the Hull fans. 4 minutes gone. Goalless on Talksport 2 as Hull with his free kick, which is going to be sent from the right wing towards the box, deep towards the back post. There's a header, and they're claiming a handball. Jacob Greaves making contact, a couple of white shirts around him. I think it would have been harsh. There were barely millimetres between Greaves and his defender. As Carlton Morris trying to shrug off a challenge. Greaves goes to the deck, but no free kick. Morris is then chopped down as he claims a free kick. In fact, it's going to be a corner, and the challenge coming in from Regan Slater was effective enough, and indeed contact was made, said the referee. So first corner of the game for Luton Town, who've been useful from set pieces for a long time under Nathan Jones, and they've got time here to prepare something and try and make some early progress. Decent following as well in the away end from Luton Town tonight in the circumstances, and indeed in the travelling conditions. I was looking for an arc, and the rain was pelting down earlier. It's going to be Lansbury, right-footed, first-time corner into the middle. Oh, it's off the bar and then an own goal. Well, Adebayo with the strike first time from the corner, which was sent towards the edge of the box. He hit the bar, and on the follow-up, it's been put into his own net, and it looks like Alfie Jones is the man who really could do nothing about it. Seemed to hit his shins. It came to him so quickly as he tried to clear his lines, and it's Hull City 0, Luton Town 1.
Well, we know that Luton start quickly. Adebayo, great effort. You know, he's so unlucky that the ball didn't go in, because at first I thought Lansbury mishit that, but it's definitely well worked on. And you said how much joy Luton have had under Nathan Jones. We talk about details, and when you don't have the biggest budgets, things like set pieces, that's when things are even. Really well worked. Lansbury, you know, he's played in the Premier League, great quality, poor marking, good strike, but when your luck's not going for you, to hit the bar, hit Jones like that into the back of the net, Now let's see how this Hull side react and how fragile they are.
Well, they came back on the opening day against Bristol City, but that's the only time they have done so this season, having fallen behind. And Andy Dawson already 7 minutes into the game with thinking to do. And you have to feel for Alfie Jones back in the side today. I mean, there was really nothing he could do about that, Matt Murray.
Nothing he could do at all. But they're the things as well that they'd have worked on in the week. Probably practiced a lot this Hull side. So the set plays are the set plays. That's nothing to do with the manager. That's how they set up. That's what they do. That's about desire, concentration. Somebody has let their man go, even if you're zone or whatever. That ball's travelled all that way low. Poor defending, but yeah, really, really unfortunate for Jones.
Jones back in the side today, replacing Figueiredo, whose errors at Swansea have been so costly. It's not a change that has worked out on this occasion. A Luton free kick headed away on the edge of the box, and perhaps an opportunity here for Hull to break, but that's cut out by Lansbury, who just hacks a clearance into the near side touchline. Nathan Jones already active in his technical area. Never stands still during a game, does Nathan Jones. I'd love to see just his step count towards the end of a game. It's astonishing.
The players play with these the GPS systems. I'm sure if he had a heart rate monitor GPS, Nathan Jones would be up there with some of the players.
Maybe he's just got a smartwatch on till we last in post-match. It's Hull on the attack though, trying to find an equaliser early in this game. In towards the edge of the area. Shot coming in outside of the right boot from Louis Coyle, the captain. Didn't really connect with it. And easily down to his left-hand side when Ethan Horvath, he's collected it fairly well. Hull 0, Luton 1 here on Talksport 2, 8 minutes gone.
Yeah, he went down in 3-month instalments to save that one. It was nice and easy for him, even on a zippy surface. And that's one as a keeper you say, mate, I'm already warm, I don't need that one. It's a very difficult technique.
Adebayo trying to cause a nuisance at the other end, but that's been put into the touchline on the far side by Jones. He was having to look after Adebayo, who thought, you'd imagine for a moment, like his duck for the season would have been broken, but hit the underside of the bar before it clattered into Jones for the opening goal of the game. Here he is near the corner flag on the left-hand side. 2 Hull shirts around him, still holding it up, wins a corner. Great forward play there from Elijah Adebayo.
And that is because he's coming back into the side. He'll be disappointed he hasn't been scoring the goals. But he looks like he's not only goals in this lad's game, his all-round play has been brilliant. He's been everywhere, linked it up. So that's a reaction that Nathan Jones would have wanted. But also credit Nathan Jones, because he obviously keeps his players focused. So now can Hull defend better this time?
Well, they're looking for an in-swinger from Bree from the corner on the far side, the Luton left. But the referees just stopped things. Carlton Morris and the goalkeeper for Hull City tonight, Nathan Baxter, have been involved in a bit of pushing and shoving. And the referee just reminding him, and indeed Alfie Jones, who's also in the vicinity, that he's not going to tolerate that. As a goalkeeper, Matt Murray, trying to deal with a striker who's right on your toes, like Carlton Morris is trying to be, must be almost impossible.
That's where Jones has got to help him.
Well, Jones has managed to push him away, but in comes the corner. It's a free header at the back post, and it's saved. It went straight into the hands of Baxter there, and then Morris delays the counter-attack. James Linton says play on, but again there was an unmarked man at the back post there. On this occasion it looked like it was Reece Burke with the diving header. Yeah, and Baxter, thankfully from a Hull City point of view, was behind it. But the marking slack from a corner again, Mark Murray.
Awful marking, and credit the delivery, because they know where it's going to go, Luton, and they worked, and a bit of movement, and this time it was a deep one to the back post, and luckily for Hull the header didn't, when it was a comfortable save in the end. But yeah, really poor marking again from Hull.
Hull 0, Luton 1, live at the MKM on Talksport 2. We've had nearly 11 minutes. Regan Slater picking up the loose ball in midfield, tries to go square, and immediately he's closed down. There's a Luton teammate Lansbury with a late challenge, and then Amari Bell, who's come across to the right-hand side, concedes the free kick. And the Hull fans haven't given up on their side yet. They're still making noise. They will try and get behind Andy Dawson and his charges, but at the moment it's Luton Town who've made the better start, and Hull trying to find something from a set piece here. Standing over it at the moment is Pelkas, Greek international, right-footed. It's a flat delivery again towards the back post. The flicked header away, goes behind for a corner. Defending there from Dan Potts. It just had to be right place, right time. and didn't really know what was behind him, Matt Murray.
Vital touch, I thought. Luton held their line well. Good driven ball in from Hull, and then just a little eyebrows, wasn't it? Just enough to direct to safety. Now, let's see if Luton can defend, if they're as good defensively as they are offensively.
Corner from the far side, going to be an in-swinger left-footed, one arm aloft, and it comes towards the back post again. This time Potts, once more getting his head on it, clears towards halfway. In the centre circle is Coyle, who just dinks it towards the inside left, and Slate, who's got plenty of room to run into. The crowd urging him to send it forward. Estepinian goes down in the box. Matt Murray waving his finger next to me, looking for it and not getting it. Oscar Estepinian.
He's lucky not to get a yellow card. That was a blatant dive. He's not complained really, has he, either?
He's not.
Yeah.
No. It was a crowd claim anyway. There wasn't a single Hull player who really looked towards James Linnington in any kind of protestation. So it remains Hull 0, Luton 1 in the 13th minute here. This is Tufan, and in towards the back four it goes for Hull again.
Mike, though, the penalty I saw given on the first game of the season here, then...
Well, I must admit, I was here at the same time as you, and I was deceived from our vantage point, which is up in the gods of the MKM Stadium, but the TV replays showed why Nigel Pearson was every right to be as livid as he was that day. Bristol City very unfortunate to come away from the MKM with nothing. Ed's opinion there, like it might have been a handball as he tried to bring it under his spell. Luton have it back anyway. Here's Amari Bell, who was taking on Leo Messi in midweek. He's been pulled back. Longman, the offender.
Has he forgotten his cards? I thought if you pulled someone back blatantly like that, that's a yellow card.
Well, he let one go earlier with Carlton Morris on the goalkeeper as well, stopping what you might say was a promising break.
And here's a yellow card as well. Yeah, you can't stop the keeper like that.
Well, that is the standard set by James Linnington in the opening quarter of an hour of the game.
Lenient.
He's been particular about the throw-ins, but not so much about the counter-attacks or the prevention of them. The free kick was headed away, so it's back into the Luton back three, and Burks, who is goalkeeper Horvath, the right-footed American international, in towards the chest of Adebayo, still up in the air here. Really a pattern to the game to speak of at the moment. Tufan trying to find some space left-hand side. Across comes the Luton defender Lockyer. Straight out of play, drills it almost into the upper tier here at the MKM.
I like that about Luton. I think that they play some good stuff, but they certainly don't take any risks at the back. They don't take chances, they don't put the ball at risk, and there's times when they've got it down and played with quality into their front men, but other times, yeah, no problem, we'll clear it, good lines. He talked about gaps as well. This is a very organised unit. I think they look very good out of possession to me.
That's the voice of Matt Murray, former Wolves goalkeeper on Talksport 2. As Hull, a goal down at home, trying to find a way back into the game. It's a heavy touch from Tufan, goes to Woods in the centre circle, gets it back. Can Hull City build something from here? The threaded delivery is again cut out. They can't find a way through at the moment, Hull City. Woods, 40 yards from goal. Coyle, in towards Woods again, immediately under pressure from Clark. Bit of space on the right hand side now. In comes the cross, goes through everyone. And so Elder picks it up outside the area on the left hand side. Could be a chance here for a strike on goal. A curling effort just over the top as Ryan Longman got hold of it. Keeper Horvath saw it all the way, saw it over the top, but there were a few inside the MKM that thought that might just dip under the crossbar, Matt Murray.
Well, Horvath is a very, very good goalkeeper. It's got to be a strike from real quality to beat a goalkeeper from there. But again, good play from Hull, good build-up play, lovely crossing, but you just saw that back line, how well defended, you know, they were defending that big rectangle really well. Fullbacks tucked in, then Adebayo getting back, he was putting pressure on Longman, so good strike, good play, good reaction from Hull, but good defending from Luton as well.
Luton haven't been able to keep hold of the ball on that occasion. Coyle winning it back, and then Bell commits the foul just inside the Hull half. Now James Linnington is going to come across and have a word, and I think the word is basically no more. Don't know whether that's chances up for Amari Bell or indeed for everybody in this game. 16 minutes gone. That own goal from Jones, the difference between the two sides. And Luton trying to extend their lead as they attack down the right. Good chance for Bree here. Low ball into the box. Morris turning and striking. He was just ahead of the near post and he put it 2 yards over the top, puts his head in his hands. He was free at the near post and didn't take the opportunity, Matt Murray.
Well, you pointed out to me before the game that Bree creates a lot of chances, how good offensively he is. Not only did he take the touch perfectly to get past the defence, but then he picks his head up and it's like it all slows down for him. Brilliant passing to Morris, and the goal scoring form he's in, he'll be disappointed he didn't work backs today.
6 in 6 for the former Barnsley man. He's been in great nick as Baxter clears, and to nobody in particular. Luton give it away quickly as well. At times there's been moments of quality in this game in the Championship. At times it's been a little bit scrappy. Here's Hull trying to build from the back. Just over halfway. And into the path now of Elder. Now to go back towards his own half. Woods picking it up. This is his second game against Luton this season, by the way. He was in the Birmingham team for the goalless draw at Luton on the opening day. It's sent across the penalty area there by Regan Slater and picked up by Clark. Towards the corner of where he goes now, attacking towards the byline. This is a huge bit of pressure that Hull putting on themselves for no apparent reason, but they've managed to win it back. It's astonishing that the ball's being played in those areas, Matt Murray. It's unnecessary pressure.
That one from Slater, but I think credit Luton because how they press, but that pass from Slater, sometimes they just turn the opposition, put it in behind them, but it's a really, really dangerous pass and they've done well to get out of it. But you mentioned about some of the lack of quality. I think that might be to do with the international break as well.
Yep.
A bit of the break in play.
Well, there's certainly a few, and we heard pre-match from Nathan Jones. Livid, I think it's fair to say, about Amari Bell playing for Jamaica against Argentina in New Jersey, of all places. Meanwhile, his American goalkeeper was in the USA squad that took on Japan in Europe, as most of these friendlies tend to happen in Europe now, because that's where most of the players are. But Jamaica and Argentina deciding to play in neither of the countries and play in New Jersey instead. Not looking worse for wear at the moment, though. Two-face, having space to turn, 25 yards from goal. Great block coming in from Lockyer to deny the strike at goal, but Hull have it back here. Slater, from range, it hits the underside of the bar, deflected on its way through and then headed behind. Hull could not have been closer to an equaliser there. Slater with the strike. It hit a Luton head on its way through. Horvath can only flap some arms at it. Hits the underside of the bar, drops down in front of the line and crucially headed behind. Corner Hull. They still trail by a goal to nil.
Yeah, power strike, keeper beaten. I was looking at the ref, looking at his watch, but definitely not in. But lucky escape for Luton. But great strike from Hull.
And so another chance as the noise goes up inside the MKM for the ball to be swung into the box. Woods towards the near post. Adebayo there to meet it. And then an attempted volley from the Greek international Dimitros Pelkas. And, the less said about that, the better. It's gone out for a throw-in 25 yards from the corner flag.
Attempt to volley, but surely that wasn't the shot. Please, you commentated on thousands of games. That cannot have been a shot.
What else is he trying to do from that position?
I don't know. He just looked like
the ferocity of the shot there. I'm not convinced. I think he's had a go from there. I think he's tried something. It didn't work.
That is he's miles off it. Well, you can't even describe how bad that is for a strike.
We said pre-match he might have a bit of a tail up because he scored for Greece against Northern Ireland during the international break, but there's confidence and then there's that.
Wow, that was miles off. But going back to the attempt that hit the bar, they've had a couple of strikes from distance. It looks like they must have been working on it in training, power shooting, maybe thinking because of the greasy surface, but it took a nick which deceived Horvath. Crashes back off the underside of the bar, and the look that Hull are having, he could have hit the goalkeeper on the back on another day and gone in, but brilliant strike. I think it's been all in all though a decent response from Hull from conceding that early goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're a Hull supporter, you are probably thinking, how's your luck? Luton strike hits the bar, hits a Hull defender and goes in. Hull strike hits the bar, bounces the right side of the line and is headed behind. Yeah. And that's been the story of the game. Hull 0, Luton 1, 21 minutes gone on Talksport 2. This match part of plenty to come on the Talksport network throughout the weekend. Live and exclusive commentary of the North London Derby tomorrow on Game Day Live from 12:30. Arsenal against Tottenham. We'll be around the grounds as well with Adrian Durham in Game Day Live from 2:30. And at the same time on Talksport 2, you can hear Graham Potter's first Premier League match in charge of Chelsea as they go to Crystal Palace. Here, it's Hull in possession. Pelkas, the left-hand touchline, goes down the line for Elder, who's got a white shirt in front of him. The block coming in from Bree, the wing back there. Claiming it came back off the Hull man before it went out of play.
See Cameron Jerome just flick that behind to waste a little bit of time. He is a veteran because he used to score against me, so that's how long ago he started playing.
He's been around the block, hasn't he, Cameron Jerome? Well, it's going to be a throw-in eventually for Hull City. Elder thinking about the long one now. There's nothing really short for him, so in it goes towards the 6-yard box, but headed away before it gets there by a Luton Town head. Woods with the pass back towards Alfie Jones, who won't thank him for having to trot back 5 yards to retrieve it in the centre circle, and this is all broken down for Hull City. They've retrieved it through Slater, still midway inside the Luton half, and then having to go back again. Reeves with a pass which is cut out by Clark, and Luton's pressure is forcing mistakes from Hull at the moment, but they've found a bit of a opening on the right hand side. Coyle in towards the middle, Lockyer in the way with a first time clearance on the volley. Here's Tufan though, trying to thread it into the box, and it's taken a touch on its way through, and it's going to be another Hull City corner midway through this first half. Hull 0, Luton 1.
Yeah, a bit of sustained pressure here from Hull. Obviously had an effort to hit the bar. They've worked the ball around the box. I still can't think of a serious save that Horvath has had to make, but they're putting that pressure on, so they're going to be whipping this outswinger this time. Got some big boys in there as well, Hull, so Luton are having to defend.
And Luton have brought everybody back to defend this set play. In towards the near post, it's again a Luton head that gets to it first. And it's back towards the right hand side. Woods trying to provide some support, but they've gone back to the captain Coyle in a deep position inside right. Chip towards the penalty area, headed away, but only as far as Callum Elder, who's going to send it back towards. Well, this is just a bit of sloppiness from Hull City, because Slater's had to go back to his own half to retrieve that because it was played a few yards wide of him, and want to sustain some pressure. You need to be accurate. In the centre circle, Hull still have it though, as Luton retreating into defensive positions at the moment, just to shut down the threat. And then another sloppy ball. This time it was Longman there, was it Pelkas, my apologies, who gave it away. Throw-in taken quickly. Morris goes down. No free kick given. Play continues. It's put out of play for a Hull throw. There's been this leniency and particularness from the referee throughout the game. I'm not quite sure I understood that.
But the linesman was right in front of it.
Yeah.
Thought it was just a coming together. Both players honest attempt for the ball. I'm going to be really boring here, Mike, but the way Luton defends set plays, first contact, boom, get up, squeeze. How often do you see goals on second phases? No, Luton, get up, pick up. So well drilled.
Well, it's the fundamentals that get you through the Championship, isn't it, Matt Murray?
Yeah, the details, and then that press, and obviously back to Baxter under pressure. But no, they're really, really well organised, and being an ex-goalkeeper, that's what I look at, and I think they're very, very well drilled. And
right, I mean, how much would you have enjoyed playing behind that back three?
You love that, yeah, love it. Be right in there, and that's what you want. But those second phases, and then they get up the pitch. But then I think they look to play with a bit of quality. They've got good mobile centre forwards, but I think Hull can take a lot of positives, because they could have felt sorry for themselves. Early goal, the manner of the goal, but they've had some spells here as well.
They certainly haven't seen heads drop here at the MKM, as Lansbury takes a free kick from the centre circle short. It's Bree with the delivery towards the D. Adebayo trying to get a foot round it, but it's been cleared by Hull. Only half cleared though, really. It's up in the air inside right channel. Maury Bell was challenging for it, but Hull put it out of play. It's going to be a throw in on this near side, the Luton right. Instructions still coming on from both technical areas. Nathan Jones be thinking about this from a Luton perspective, because they've got the lead. They've had to go on the back foot for a few minutes here.
Yeah, but he knows, he was saying in his presses how even this league is, and Hull have won 3 games here this season. They're not mugs at home. I know the manager's gone, but we said there's only 2 points that separate the table.
Yeah,
I'm sure Luton's wage bill is a lot bigger than Hull's, so this is never going to be an easy game at all. But I think Nathan Jones' side, as much as they had to withstand a bit of pressure, they played well.
Well, there's a yellow card that's eventually come out for some time wasting. Elijah Adebayo kicking the ball away. And so 26 minutes in, now time wasting is going to be penalised.
It was silly though, wasn't he? He just knocked the ball away. I don't know what he was moaning about.
Play continues, Hull getting on with it. It's just a little trip there from Lockyer, just on the halfway line. With their elder, it's going down onto one knee before getting up again. Free kick taken quickly. Here's Slater just going back into his back four. Still Hull 0, Luton 1. That own goal from Jones in the 6th minute. The difference between the two sides here on Talksport 2. Sloppy this time at the back from Baxter. And the pressure counting again for Luton Town. Here's Bree. Chance for a cross towards the back post. Baxter should rise for that and get there, and does. Wasn't really under too much pressure. Of course, in the end, a simple one to gobble up. But looking for options, and there's no one really looking at it. I think they're just all expecting him to go long here.
Yeah. Again, that stuff you have to work on, and if they want to play from the back, then he needs options. But then Baxter couldn't put the ball at risk, and now could they pick up the second ball? No, so Luton have got it back.
I mean, Estepinian can be a handful up front, but he's not, I would argue, in the same league as Adebayo and Morris in terms of a hold-up player. It's Baxter under pressure from Adebayo there, but uses a nice bit of footwork to get away from the Luton striker and pull the ball out of defence.
Calm, wasn't it?
Very calm.
On loan from Chelsea.
Yeah, this is his second spell at Hull City. Hull is 7th loan club. Had 18 games last year. It's come into the game after Ingram, and the last couple has been dropped. I'm trying to put a stamp on his place, as will every Hull player at the moment. In comes the cross towards the 6-yard box for Hull. Estepinian lurking, but Horvath off his line quickly to claim. And it's Luton still in front. And now Campbell racing through the middle, has to check back. He's not got too many options in front of him, so goes into Morris in the centre circle. Lifts it towards the right-hand side, and Bree. And they're going to have to go backwards to come forwards here, Luton Town. Lockyer, square across the back four. Estepinian now getting involved in the press for Hull City. And then he's clattered into Lockyer a little bit late there. Lockyer didn't particularly care for that. Horvath with the clearance long, goes straight towards Baxter. As we approach the half-hour mark, it remains Hull 0, Luton 1. Well, Shotta Avaladze in his last press conference before he was sacked said he wanted to see a bit more aggression from his players. Maybe Oscar Estepinian was trying to do that. Again, they've given it away, not too far from their penalty area, Hull City. This time it was lifted towards the box by Lansbury, but to no avail. They've won it back here, though, the white-shirted Luton players. Lansbury and Tufan in a tussle. And then Lansbury wins it again. This is Clark now, just at the tip of the centre circle, out towards Amari Bell. Left wing back here for Luton Town, looking to find some space for himself. It's gone back in field though. Campbell picks it up, the Scotland international they brought in the summer. Diagonal ball towards Adebayo, over his head, and that'll just be allowed to drop and trickle out, and the game can just have a bit of a breather here. Half an hour gone. What's your assessment of what you're seeing, Matt Murray, in terms of the way Hull are trying to go about this game? Are they doing much different than what they were doing under Shotta Avaladze?
Not from what I've seen, but I didn't expect to see too much different because they haven't had time to change anything. So obviously confidence is going to be a little bit damaged, but I think the crowd has stayed with them, got behind them. Every time I've been here they've done that. They've tried, they've worked hard, but that final ball maybe not quite been there. The look certainly hasn't gone for them, but the energy levels are good. But just sometimes that final ball, but I think you have to credit Luton for that as well. But just some of that some of the building from the back, just don't think those patterns are quite there yet.
It's picked up here by Long. So we welcome our listeners to Talksport 2. On Talksport, it's Hull 0, Luton Town 1 here at the MKM. The home side thought they'd won themselves a corner, but in fact there's a goal kick that's gone this way. It's an own goal from Alfie Jones that's the difference between the two sides here. There's a corner from Lansbury, went towards Adebayo, just inside the box. His first time strike hit the bar, bounced down onto Jones, who could do nothing else and put the ball into his own net. Luton have responded well. Slater hitting the bar himself. It bounced just the wrong side of the line from a Hull City point of view as they look for an equaliser. Matt Murray, in terms of the way this first half an hour has gone, how do you see it?
I think that Luton obviously came out the traps quickly, got the early goal like they're capable of. They've done that all season. But fair play to Hull. Difficult circumstances, lost their manager today. They've on so much misfortune with the goal, and they've got back at Luton. But you just saw it there just before the listeners came. We came to the Talksport listeners. Poor final ball again, so Hull just need to test Hovath more, plenty of effort, but just lack that bit of quality. As for Luton, look very, very well organised, very good defensively.
Yeah, it's been disciplined so far from Luton. There's a player down in the centre of the park, Luton Town, who through Carlton Morris could have gone 2-0 in front, but he steered an effort at the near post over the top when he'd been found in the box by Bree. And so at the moment it remains Hull City 0, Luton Town 1. Full commentary continues on Talksport 2. So the ball in the hands of James Lillington at the moment. It's just waiting to see how we're going to restart here. Bree just getting a drink at the technical area, and we are now going to get underway. Long ball from Luton towards Adebayo. Tried to take him on his chest, but it's a heavy touch and it's going to go out for a goal kick here. Applause for Jean-Michael Seri, who's just warming up on this near side. Turned maybe a little bit late from international duty, and that's maybe the reason he's not starting tonight, because he's certainly a formidable player at this level.
Yeah, he's proven at this level, good player, played at Fulham before. We saw, didn't we, when we were here on that opening game of the season, I know it took a deflection, but he can score cheap from distance. I felt he does give that bit of quality midfield, good energy levels. But at the moment, I think Dawson will feel that his side can take a lot of positives, just that bit more composure in that final third. But they're right in this game.
It's at the back with Baxter, being closed down by Morris, so has to go long. Estepinian winning the header. He's knocked it square, but there's no one in that particular vicinity of the pitch, so it goes to Bree, who will find his goalkeeper. Right-footed Horvath first time. Well, a backspin on the ball as it spins towards halfway. Adebayo picks up the loose ball, and then there's a wrestling match going on. Well, I say a wrestling match, there was only really one contestant there. A yellow card goes towards Ryan Woods after bringing down Clark in the centre of the park, and he just wanted to stop the attack basically. He's taken one for the team.
He can have no complaints, but there's been a couple of others like that where there have been pretty cynical challenges, and he knew what he was doing. He said taking one for the team, pulled him down, and look, Woods is a very experienced player in the Championship, but it just slows the play down a little bit more. We've seen how good Luton are from set pieces, get some of their big boys up. Tom Lockyer will go up there and they can put good quality in. Lansbury over the ball again, is it? And
it looks to be.
Yeah, and let's see how well organised they are this time.
10 minutes to the break here on Talksport 2. Lansbury right-footed, chipped towards the back post, heads go up, headed back towards the centre of goal, but it's Jones who gets a right foot wrapped around it and clears out of this danger area. It's Coyle putting his arms outstretched as he cleared. He didn't really have any option, and it's out of play for a Luton throw far side on halfway. Standing in his technical area on the right hand side as we look at it, Andy Dawson, arms crossed, just considering maybe what he will say to his players at half time. And there's been positive aspects of this whole performance. They've had a couple of decent efforts, but it's Luton on the attack at the moment. This time a hurried clearance comes in from Regan Slater, and you just feel at the moment Luton just seem that little bit more dangerous when they get into the final third. They've had rarer visits, but when they get there just seems to be a little bit more danger about them.
Yeah, they go with real intent. I like the way Campbell, he's got good energy levels. He looks like he wants to join in well from midfield, and I thought Adebayo was going to get onto that. But what also, we talked about how many times do Luton get the first contact on balls into their box, but when they're attacking they get first contact all the time.
Well, once again, Hull have put themselves under pressure from their own goal kick. It went to Ryan Woods, who was in the D, immediately under pressure. Think Manchester United against Brentford in the Premier League in the opening couple of weekends of the season. That sort of ball into danger, they got away with it that time, but I mean, it's crazy. I don't understand it.
when that holding midfielder comes, he's got to know his next pass. You're sucking somebody in, but they're not putting under pressure, putting themselves under pressure, because what they do is they just then fire it back at the goalkeeper, and he's under pressure himself.
Well, there's a roar that goes up because Hull City have won themselves a corner. Reece Burke having to put behind off his thigh under pressure from Callum Elder. And so Pelkas comes across to whip an in-swinger right-footed towards the penalty area. 37 minutes gone, still Hull 0, Luton 1 on Talksport 2. And the home side find an equaliser from this set play. In it comes towards the centre of goal, and out comes the goalkeeper, commanding his 6-yard box. Ethan Horvath there, looking every bit in control of that situation.
Yeah, it was a nice take for him. Cherries, as they say, just come and pluck that one. Whipped in, obviously, a little bit of pace by Pelkas, but easy sort of take, and obviously the pressure's then relieved. And nothing better as a goalkeeper when it just whips into your hands like that.
Campbell is brought down in the Hull half now. You mentioned his energy earlier. I mean, he's picking up positions all over the place, is Alan Campbell, who's nominally playing in a 10 position, but has been pretty much in every blade of grass so far.
I really like him.
He's got one Scotland cap so far. He was selected in the summer, but not during the last international break. I imagine he'll be hoping to force his way back into Steve Clarke's thoughts, given the promotion in the Nations League and the positive ways that Scotland are improving at the moment. But it's a Luton Town free kick, midway inside the Hull half. It's going to be right-footed from Henry Lansbury in towards the edge of the area. Morris meets it with a header, and then it's tipped past the post by Baxter, who had to scramble across. Morris met it well, couldn't really get the power that maybe he wanted to engineer with the header, and that gave Baxter a chance to sprawl across to his right-hand side and tip it round the post. It remains 1-0 Luton.
Yeah, in-swinging free kick from deep, but again, they're just not getting their line right, Hull. Some are dropping, some are holding, and it's a first contact again, middle of the goal, skips her off the surface, good save from Baxter, but another set piece.
Corner Luton on Talksport 2, in towards the near post, flicked on, and it's bouncing in and out of danger, but only for another Luton corner. 6 minutes to the break here. Well, Luton are arguing that maybe that's come off something other than someone's head. There's a fat 4 white shirts just asking the question of James Lillington. From our vantage point, I couldn't quite tell, to be honest, Matt Murray, but
no chance. I mean, no VAR either. And I think between Bree and Lansbury, they seem to mix up who's taking the set pieces. They got a little bit going on in here as well, a bit of trouble.
Yes, looks like it. Well, there's just a bit of pushing and shoving at the moment, and well, the referee's done this a couple of times. He was warning Carlton Morris earlier on in the first half. This time it's Lockyer, and looks like Tufan is having a few words with the referee as well.
But Mike, what you can see here is they're semi-zonal, yeah? They've got one man in the front post,
Opinion's just in front of the goalkeeper, isn't he? Yeah.
He's around that sort of hole, but everybody else is man for man. So that means when Adebayo got his chance, somebody's switched off, somebody's lost his man. There's too many times people are losing their man and letting their player get a free header or a free strike on the goal.
Well, there's been another training ground move. Chip towards the back post. It's over the head of one Luton attacker, but they tried to follow it up. Cleared, but only towards the halfway line. Amari Bell, who immediately hoists it towards the right-hand side. Elder getting his head to it. Lansbury is then tripped, or at least claims he was. They'll have to settle for the throw here, Luton Town. 5 minutes to half-time. Still Luton leading by a goal to nil here on Talksport 2. We might have plenty to come on the Talksport network through the weekend, and indeed on Monday night as well. Exclusive Premier League commentary of Leicester City against Nottingham Forest in the East Midlands derby. 19th goes to 20th in the Premier League. Huge pressure on Brendan Rodgers, and indeed a little on Steve Cooper, which seems bizarre to say after he did such a wonderful job to get them up into the Premier League, but didn't sign a new contract in the summer, and that's just led to further and further questions, and the return so far in terms of points has led to even more.
I hope he's okay, because he did an unbelievable job, as you say, the turnaround the players, didn't sign a new contract. You know how those owners are as well. As for Brendan Rodgers, again, fantastic coach, and no players really in the window, so yeah, massive game.
Free kick Luton in towards the edge of the area from Bree, but scrambled clear, particularly convincingly. But then there's pressure on Amari Bell. Estepinian might pick up the loose ball. Here's Tufan, well covered And Jordan Clark making his way back to recover his position, because most of the big defenders were still up from the set piece. And then there's a foul on the edge of the on the edge of the centre circle. A head injury there, maybe.
A bit of whiplash. He's gone right through the back of him. You don't expect someone to hit you like that with that force. No. And Pelkas has gone right through the back of him. Again, he'll probably as well for Luton just stay down, just run the clock down a little. But that could have been a dangerous situation there with a break from Hull, but just couldn't quite get the ball through. But also credit the desire of the away side to get back into shape, make those recovery runs.
Absolutely. Well, Nathan Jones will settle for nothing less. There's still boos, because I can't quite see which Luton player is down here, because he's surrounded by three other bodies.
Is it Potts?
It is Potts, you're absolutely right. He's getting to his feet now. Hasn't needed treatment, so he's going to be allowed to stay on the pitch. 2.5 minutes to the break. It will be a Luton free kick just in the centre circle. There is one other game in the EFL tonight. Mansfield 0, Hartlepool 0 is a half-time score. As Lansbury sends it long. Morris would have been offside, so he let it run. But Clark couldn't get there. And Clark, for a moment, just looked like he was holding the inside of his thigh. I just wonder if he's looking at his groin after that recovery run. Gets back into his midfield position with Hull in possession, looking for Tufan. That's cut out and in towards the feet of Adebayo. 30 yards from goal. Goes to Morris on the left-hand side. Morris with a couple of bodies around him. Gets the cross in though. Adebayo tries to get the header on. It's Clark on the follow-up, and Adebayo can't get on it after a great save from Baxter. Bree lifting it in towards the back post. Hull still haven't got this clear. Driving volley going in. What a finish from Henry Lansbury. Extraordinary. 30 yards out. Pile driver low into the bottom corner. Daisy cutter effort from Henry Lansbury. A moment of pure quality to put Hull City 2-0 behind Luton Town, heading towards the break with a brilliant advantage after a brilliant goal.
Well, as I say, take a bow, son. What a strike. To hit the ball like that, we know the quality Henry Lansbury has. You know, coming through at Arsenal, he played at Forest, some top goals and passes he's played over the years. You know he's a clean striker of the ball. And you feel for Baxter, because he just made a brilliant save down low. Didn't really clear their lines, but to come onto a ball like that, half volley as it comes up at him, hitting across it, through the bodies, which means the keeper can't see it till late, in off the inside of the post. Massive blow for Hull. Massive blow, but what a moment for Luton. But wow, that was probably already, you won't see a better strike all weekend. That was a brilliant goal from Henry Lansbury.
There was one Luton player last week who was saying that maybe Burke, who scored a great goal against Blackburn before the international break, had scored a goal of citizen contender for Luton Town. Well, that is out of the window. That was an extraordinary finish from Henry Lansbury.
Amazing strike. Amazing. Effortless as well, wasn't it? The timing. Wow.
I mean, mugs like me would die happy to strike a ball like that once in their life, and I don't care where it ended up. 2-3 minutes to be added on. Luton 2-0 in front at the MKM, and Hull City trying to get themselves back into the game before half-time. Here's Pelkas. Coyle urged across the ball in towards the middle. Tufan looking for it. Horvath with a strong punch off his line. Hull City still in possession, midway inside the Luton half. Chip towards the box again. It goes through everyone, but it took a touch off Lockyer, I think, on its way. And so it will be a corner for Hull City.
But good goalkeeping again. They hold the line. Protect the goal, protect the space. And that's what you see Horvath do. Doesn't only make saves, comes, takes crosses, punches them. But this could be a massive moment. If Hull can score now just before half-time, massive moment.
Pelkas standing over it. It's going to be the right-footed in swinger. Plenty to aim for in the box here. Luton with everyone back in towards the back post, and he's put it right in the breadbasket of the goalkeeper again. Has Pelkas. He'll be kicking himself. That's the second time he's done it in a few minutes.
Well, you know how greasy the conditions were with it, and his handling has been exemplary. Kevin Pilkinson's a goalkeeper coach, ex-Manchester United. I think he was playing for the Legends against Liverpool in the international break. And it shows you, America have got some good goalkeepers. They've got Turner at Arsenal, Horvath here, Sean Johnson as well over in playing in the MLS. But I think Horvath has been really good. I think the whole Luton team have been excellent.
Well, England will need to beat one of them in the World Cup.
Yeah.
When it rolls around in November. Plenty of football in the EFL and the Premier League, though, to get through before we get there. As Luton look to go one for Tufan to chase. Orbath is just having to scamper back into his box just to keep it off the toes of Tufan. It was a little bit of a nervy moment for him for a second.
All under control. That was one of those ones where I think he'd looked to sweep up and then realised it could go in his box and it skipped on a little. And now, who's this down injured?
That looks like Reece Burke has gone down. Nothing has happened to him. There's no one near him. So unless this is something he's picked up in the last few minutes.
Is he ex-Hull?
Reece Burke, they picked him up on a free transfer from Hull in 2021.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I remember watching him a good few times, ex-West Ham, then here, and to Hull, and that's why I think there might be a few extra boos as well.
3 seasons here at the MKM.
Yep, and his contract now,
And he's not the most popular man at the moment.
But going back to that second goal for Luton, he's been saying it all night. They put themselves in the pressure, don't they, Hull? And that ball out, got caught on the playing out, boom, pass straight into Adebayo. Alright, then a bit more to come, good save, but the initial bit of pressure came with that poor ball into the midfield area, and then they got punished, and such a hard blow. And you asked what Dawson would be saying at half time. I think that second goal, you know what I mean, it changes your team talk, doesn't it, and really knocks the stuffing out of you. And again, no, the fans haven't turned. I think, they've given lots of effort, but they've been at the root of their own downfall a bit too often for me.
Yeah, and I don't know what you make of this, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. All of Hull's wins this season have been by a single goal. All of their defeats have been by more than one goal. So when they do drop, they drop. I don't know whether that says about a culture in which 16 signings has been made in the summer. You're trying to build again. There's been a big rethink about the way that Hull City recruit.
Yeah, so different from what we've been used to seeing, and the players they've been bringing in, and obviously they lost the likes of Keane Lewis Potter. Before that, Jared Bowen, some very, very good players that have come through. So they're changing the style which comes with the ownership, and some of the names that are talking about maybe coming in as manager. But it will be a concern that to Hull. You say they've only come back from once to win this season, from being behind once to win. And look, some of that as well is, of course, when you push on, you risk conceding the second. But I just think some of these goals have been sloppy.
The stands are emptying at the moment as Hull fans go and try and find some half-time refreshments. We've got a little bit more to play because of the injury, but boos around the MKM with Hull City 2-0 down to Luton Town at half-time here. The goal's coming in the 6th minute, an own goal from Alfie Jones back in the side, but really you can't blame him. It was an excellent corner from Lansbury in towards Adebayo, who struck it first time. The effort hit the crossbar, came down, hit Jones and trickled over the line. And then 2 minutes before the break, Lansbury with a goal of the season contender. Daisy cutter from 30 yards on the half volley, in off the post as well, just to make it even sweeter. And Luton Town in control, looking like they're heading into the top 6. Hull City looking like they're heading for a 5th straight defeat on Talksport 2. Hull City 0, Luton Town 2 at half-time. It's who have not going to be entering the field of play, just making their way off. But there is going to be a change at the break for Luton. Reece Burke, who went down in stoppage time at the end of the first half, can't continue. And so on comes Gabriel Osho, who spent 4 months without a club before he joined Luton a couple of years back. Leaving Reading, he's found a place in this Luton side, and he's found a game here with Luton 2-0 up. A excellent first half and a promising lead to defend. And in terms of the omens for Hull, who look like they're heading for a 5th straight defeat, well, they're not good. Luton have won the last 3 meetings between these two sides. They're also unbeaten in the last 4 visits to the MKM Stadium. Let's take you through the teams, and as they stand, it's Baxter in goal for Hull City. Back 4 of Coyle, Jones, Greaves and Elder. Woods and Slater in midfield. Longman, Tufan and Pelkas. The 3 behind Estepinian, who's been kept pretty quiet, the Championship's top scorer so far tonight. Luton then continuing their 3-4-1-2 with Horvath the goalkeeper. The back three now Potts, Lockyer and Osho at the right of that back three. Bell, Clark, Lansbury and Bree the midfield, with Campbell behind Adebayo and Carlton Morris up front. Nathan Jones was saying pre-match that Luton were 5th in the XG table. They'll be 5th in the actual table if this result stands. 2-0 lead here on Talksport 2. Minute gone in the second half. It's been pretty scrappy so far. No ball in towards Adebayo. Just feeds it to Bell. Gets there before a Hull City man. And it's into the feet of Potts. High ball over the top for the channel for Adebayo to chase. Jones, scorer of the own goal in the 6th minute. Just has to clear for a throw in about a yard from the corner flag. Well, what were you expecting from the start of this second half from Hull, Matt Moore, in these opening 90 seconds? Have you seen it?
Well, they don't have to score straight away. They've got to make sure that they don't concede early on in this half, but hopefully they're going to show a bit of confidence, keep showing those energy levels. But going back to your XG, I wonder what the XG would be when people strike from the distance that Lansbury did for that second goal.
0.02. I mean, honestly, the XG for Luton, if you're interested, in the first half was 0.4 on the metric I've got on my app. In comes the throw towards the near post, and it's put behind for a corner for Luton Town. Yeah, it did look like it came off Jones at the near post.
Yeah, I thought it was a corner. I thought at first they were going to give a goal kick, you see, and you could tell by the player reaction they knew it was a corner. Long throw again, causing problems. These are set pieces, long throws, corners, free kicks, every single time. Yes, it's quality, but also you've got to question Hull's organisation. Really poor.
Well, it's Bree with an in-swinger from the Luton left. And players lined up around the penalty spot, darting in all directions now, and it comes towards the 6-yard box. Cleared first time by Hull. Lansbury just helps it back to halfway. Amari Bell under pressure from Pelkas, but just works it to the right-hand side. Lansbury then linking up and trying to get the ball back. Just on that far side, the Luton right, and in fact he's won a throw in there. He had no right really to win the ball in that position, but he's done so. I'm thinking about taking the throw in quickly, but they're going to allow Bree to come across and maybe think about the long one instead. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Hull 0, Luton 2 on Talksport 2. And the atmosphere at the moment in the MKM, and the fans are just kind of waiting for something to get them going. They didn't lose faith at 1-0, but at 2 there were boos at half time. Staring down the barrel of a 5th straight defeat at the moment, Hull City, as the ball's whipped in towards the near post. First time clearance, this time by Jacob Greaves, as Hull try and clear their lines. It's going to come straight back to them in a few moments' time, because the clearance is to no one in particular. It's at the back here with Horvath, the goalkeeper, who has time to scoop it up, bowl it out underarm towards Amari Bell. Carlton Morris making a run, calling for it. Bell chooses not to go into the channel that time. Now it is sent long. Too long. Adebayo is not going to reach that, out for a goal kick. And the game's just, it's a bit of a slow start. But Luton won't mind that. They're in control of the game at the moment. It's Hull that have to press the issue here, Matt Murray.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, Luton will be the happier of the two. They just need to draw this half. They don't care. They don't care how ugly it gets, whatever. They need to draw this half. But the more Hull have to commit bodies forward, they'll believe with Morris, with Adebayo, that they've got the pace to counter-attack and get a third and even a fourth.
Tufan just going back with his right instep towards the halfway line. Greaves, the highly rated players in this Hull side, signed a 4-year deal a month or so ago after Hull managed to see off interest from other clubs. Tufan on the left-hand side just puts it into the feet of the substitute Osho, and there will be a throw level with the edge of the penalty area, taken quickly. They want to get this moving. Slater out towards the left again, trying to find space for a cross, but they've had to go short. And again, Luton's defensive organisation is preventing Hull City from really causing any damage. Estepinian goes down, wants a free kick, won't get one. Clipped over the top this time, and the offside flag goes up as the line did its job. And Luton Town will have themselves a free kick. Oh, they're trying to get forward, but didn't manage to judge the run. 5 minutes of the second half gone. Still Hull 0, Luton 2.
Couple of things there. Half time we talked about it. Could this game just kick off a little? I just thought that little tangle there with Lockyer and Estepinian. I just thought Lockyer, did he try to stand on him a little? I'm not sure, so watch that bit. And then Tufan, I've hardly heard you mention him all game. whereas Lansbury's in top draw. And I also, every time I look at Lansbury, I think, when he looks back at his career, will he feel he underachieved a little? Because I think he saw the strike. He's got so much quality.
Incredible talent. Before this game, just after the Blackburn win, in fact, when Lansbury made his first start of the season, Nathan Jones said, look, he's getting back to his best. Well, clear evidence of that tonight. Not only from the corner that led to the first goal, but that sensational strike 2 minutes before half-time. 30-yard, half volley, daisy cutter, in off the post. You really do have to seek out the video of that one.
Well, that's Premier League quality, wasn't it?
Sensational.
It was. But it didn't really happen for him at Aston Villa, did it?
No. It's funny, it doesn't work out at some clubs for some players, but sometimes players find their home and it works brilliantly. And if Nathan Jones is able to get the best out of Henry Lansbury, he's got some player in the Championship.
Not wrong.
Back of the goalkeeper's feet, Baxter for Hull. It was high into the Luton half. Cleared away, and the whistle goes for a foul on Campbell there. It was just maybe had a push in the back from Woods. And at the moment, the strategy is pretty clear from Luton Town. Slow the game down, take any momentum out of the contest.
Yep.
And control the proceedings, and they're doing that pretty effectively in the opening 7 minutes of this second half on Talksport.
Yeah, really well. But how many times do we see Campbell get onto those second balls when they drop down? That's not a fluke.
Seems to have a sixth sense for where the ball's going to be. This is Amari Bell trying to take on two Hull defenders at the moment. Twisting, turning, trying to find an angle for a cross. Sliding challenge from Louis Coyle. The crowd like that. They just wanted something to get them going. Yeah. And there it is. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, that bit of commitment, and that gets the crowd lifted. Yeah, because sometimes you want the crowd to lift you as a player, but at times when there's a player down there, you've got to do something. And yeah, it doesn't have to be a spectacular bit of skill, just that bit of commitment, good challenge, stopping the cross.
Captain leading by example as Hull try and recover from 2 goals down, but it's a long throw they're going to have to defend from the former Blackburn man Amari Bell. In towards the near post, up go the heads. It's a Hull one that wins it. Pelkas helps it on its way away from the penalty area. Now it's Tufan trying to bring it down outside of the foot back towards Pelkas, who goes for the long diagonal towards the penalty area. There's slight awkwardness in the way that Horvath came for the ball. I think maybe just misjudged the bounce for a moment there. It was a slightly odd one, but he claimed it safely enough.
Yeah, I thought he was going to trip over for a second then, didn't quite sort his feet, or
I mean, could he have lost that in the floodlights or something?
Maybe. He has brave starting positions though, doesn't he? And then it skipped up, but yeah, it didn't look the most convincing, but the end result was fine, wasn't it?
It was.
He's just keeping you on your toes, that's all, Mike.
Goalkeepers Union membership is due quite soon, isn't it, Matt Money? Matt Murray, sorry.
Yeah, got to look after each other, you know.
Absolutely. Woods trying to win it for Hull with his head, but again it's Luton Town in possession. Amari Bell, he's it a short ball to Morris, and now Clark trying to get the 1-2 without a Adebayo. Had his run blocked off. Good work from Coyle just to help it back towards his goalkeeper, and Hull City trying to build again from the back, but this has been times when they've caused their own problems here. They've gone back to the goalkeeper, who's just decided, well, let's go long, lads, because we're in trouble.
Yeah, but he gets on the ball, doesn't he, Greaves? And he should then get an option, but no one's come and shown for him. So then he ends up putting it in the width of the goal, putting Baxter under pressure, hits it straight down the middle, and goes out for a throw-in. But look, Luton will end up with this ball back soon.
So awkward touch from Osho, but he's recovered, back facing his own goal at the moment, just tries to turn near the far side touchline and clear his lines. With the help of Campbell, have given away the ball, and it's going to be a Luton throw. Far side of the MKN. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. Our next EFL commentary, by the way, is coming up on Wednesday night on Talksport 2. Watford, Slaven Bilic taking charge at Vicarage Road for the first time. They're against Swansea, and there's another yellow card for time wasting. And it's going to be James Bree who goes into the notebook. So he follows Adebayo from the first half. And James Livingston just pointing out that he's aware of any particular shenanigans that are going on. Hull 0, Luton 2. Estepinian trying to put some pressure on. Too much for the referee's liking, as he had arms over the shoulder of Lockyer. Well, that's a battle you pointed out a moment ago would be interesting to follow, and well, this time advantage Lockyer, who wins the free kick when he was under pressure there. Did Estepinian have to do that?
I'm not sure. Lockyer got his body in well, didn't he? Used a good bit of experience. And again, no, it allows Luton just to break the play down. Hogarth takes his time, walks up, puts the goal kick down. Can you think of this half? Has anyone put 4 or 5 consecutive passes together?
No. And the closest they came was this little diamond shape that was down on the near side, where Coyle managed to block off the run from Campbell, and that was it. But you're absolutely right, the ball's been in the air more often than it's been on the ground. The Hull fans want a free kick, they've got one. Player down in midfield. While he's potentially getting some treatment, let me just remind you, by the way, the FA Cup 4th qualifying round draw is rolling round. It's that time of year already. 3:15 on Monday on Talksport 2, with the likes of Chesterfield, Wrexham, Notts County, Southend, Scunthorpe, Oldham. They all enter the draw at this stage. Magic of the Cup. It's coming round soon, Matt Murray.
I love the FA Cup. And that, again, when you're talking about those games, that shows you why it is so special. What is so unique, isn't it? All those teams playing, and the FA Cup. And some people say, it's been disrespected a little and the teams getting put out. I still think there's so much love for that competition, and some good games there, some really, really good games.
Well, you can follow that draw on Talksport 2 on Monday afternoon, 3:15. We'll bring that to you. Hull lining up a double change. As Greg Docherty's going to come on. Christie is going to come on as well, but the board hasn't gone up yet, so we're just waiting to see who those changes are going to be for. Still we wait, with more discussions going on in the Luton technical area. It was Pelkas who was down. He's got back up, but he's holding his right hip at the moment, so he's just making his way towards this near side touchline. So first off is Oscar Estepinian, who's not had a particularly effective night. It was Docherty who comes on for him, and then Christie is going to replace Pelkas, who was hobbling off anyway. So Cyrus Christie enters, and I wonder what that's going to do in terms of the front line for Hull City, because there's not a particularly recognised striker now on the pitch for the home side.
I was thinking the same.
Tufan's gone a bit further forward. Longman is up there as well. Christie's almost on the right wing at the moment, isn't he?
He's a fullback usually.
No, they've got Coyle there, so they don't need him in that position. Hold the line, please, caller, on this Hull City formation for a few moments here on Talksport 2. Hull 0, Luton 2. The home side trying to mastermind a way back into this one. And the curveball in terms of a couple of changes there as we approach the hour mark. In the second half, which has seen, I have to be honest, very little happen. And that plays right into Luton Town's hands, heading into the playoff places as it stands. Coyle just hoists it forward, looking for Christie, couldn't get his head on it, and then Woods is climbing all over the back of Lockyer, wins the free kick, the Luton defender. Woods is pleading his case to the referee, who is running away. And Luton trying to take this quickly, actually, with Potts through towards Adebayo on the left wing, using his body well to shield the ball from the defender. Those lime green boots heading towards the corner flag, claims the touch of the Hull man, and indeed it was the last touch coming off Alfie Jones. And so Adebayo wins Luton Town a throw. Tufan staying up top.
Looks like he's playing as a false 9 sort of thing.
We shall see. Christie wins it back for Hull City, his first involvement really in the game. Gets it back from Woods, still deep in their own half here, Hull City. Down the line goes Christie. Good ball into the fellows substitutes Docherty. Now Tufan, corner of the penalty area, has to work it wide towards the corner flag, being tracked by Osho. And it's Docherty who tries to swing at the ball. In comes Amari Bell, concedes the throw. 5 yards from the corner flag. Hull making some decent progress down the right. Coyle gets the ball back into play quickly. It's to Woods. There's 3 or 4 around the box to aim for. If the cross eventually will come in. So far it's not been delivered. Bit of frustration from the home fans that they haven't seen anyone swing a boot at it. Now Christie might, then puts the ball under his studs, goes for the 1-2 instead. Bell will try and see this behind, doesn't quite do so, and then it hits the hand of Bell just outside the penalty area. He didn't really know much about it. Cross comes in, header wide, as Longman got involved, about 10 yards out, couldn't really steer the header on target. But Hull just a little bit brighter in these last couple of minutes.
Yeah, a little bit brighter, but still it's a difficult chance coming away from goal. Ball whipped in at pace, getting bodies into the box. Interesting seeing Tufan leading the line, making that little run. Nice little bit of skill back heel, but from what I've seen of Tufan so far this season, he's not like he's got blistering pace, which again will allow Luton to put that press on higher up, because they know they won't get ran in behind. So obviously it's a change they've made, but interesting to see how it works out.
At the other end, Colton Morris trying to do some damage as he looks for a 7th goal in 7 games. Couldn't get past Coyle on that tie. Strong defending from the Hull captain. It remains Hull 0, Luton 2. We've had 62 minutes. Talksport 2, your home of the EFL. And still, the ball's not back in play. Lansbury taking on some fluid.
Yeah, some sort of tablets. I wonder what that is. But I'm not surprised that Dawson did go to his bench, because he had to do something, didn't he? They just weren't, as you said, they just totally playing into Luton's hands. Hull were just not looking like they're getting back into it at all.
Bell with a long throw from the left in towards the box. It's met by a Hull head first up. Bell sends it back in with his left instep on the volley. This time Hull get it a little bit further away. Lansbury though will hoist it back towards the edge of the area. Luton trying to get underneath it. It's a drag from a Hull defender on Bree, and it stopped Bree trying to get on the loose ball, and a dangerous position for a free kick here. 25 yards out, just wide of the right hand post. And I tell you what, there's a few in this Luton Town lineup that are fancying it already, Matt Murray.
Who's going to get the ball? Henry Lansbury. He will be looking at this. He's obviously got previous with that second goal that Luton scored. Bree as well has put some great balls in, but as you say, it's a really, really difficult position here for Baxter, because players, when they like this range, when it's a bit closer, it's hard to get it up and down. This is perfect range. What would you say that is? 23 yards? Yeah, perfect. Oh, it's Bree. Only see, that is the one thing as a goalkeeper. When there's a left footer and a right footer over the ball, it keeps you guessing. But now at least Baxter's got to be brave. Line his wall up, standing there. Doesn't need a charger because there's only one on the ball. But let's see what Bree's got in the locker. His delivery is very good from crosses.
Certainly has been. Well, Bree is looking around the wall, peering around it. So can he get the ball around it? Well, he can, but much further around it than he wanted to, and it's well wide, the free kick in the end. We gave him the big build-up, but I'm afraid that is a disappointing effort from James Bree. Remains Hull 0, Luton 2.
Yeah, pace in the strike, but never ever troubling Baxter with that one.
Hull continuing to play out from the back from this goal kick, and they've put themselves under pressure yet again. Coyle goes down under the pressure of Amari Bell, handles the ball, but the referee decides it was a push in the back of the Hull City man. But again, they're causing all their own problems here, Matt Murray.
Coyle did well, because he is under so much pressure there, but there was never ever an out ball. So I don't know how they thought they were going to beat that press. They can't go in behind, but they've got no target man up top to hit, and Luton just went full press, let's have it, and
you can almost see the eyes widening of the the Luton players, just thinking, well, this is going to be a great opportunity. Osho just stepping across Longman to get a boot in and put the ball out for a Hull City throw as they tried to feed it into the penalty area, the home side. They still haven't given up on this game.
They can score, they're right back in, they really, really are.
Just got to try and lift it somehow. It still remains pretty flat this second half from both sides, and as we've been saying, that will suit Luton Town. Woods has the ball near the corner flag. They've somehow managed to squeeze it away from there. Ball into the middle, hits Tufan and goes wide, and he's got... Well, I don't quite understand what he was going for with the finish. Maybe wasn't really expecting the ball to come through to him. It just seemed to hit his side.
Yeah, really good bit.
Go wide.
Yeah, good bit of play on the whole right. Good little intricate play. Lovely ball in. As they just missed the man in the front hole for Luton. Was that Lockyer? I think it was, just over his head. As you say, Tufan got in, but I just think he saw it late or didn't expect it to meet him. Couldn't really improvise with a little flick, whatever. And it just hit him and went wide, because any sort of touch goalwards there would be really difficult for Horvath.
Here's Morris though, trying to bundle his way forward, goes down in the box. He claims he was dragged down. Referee says play on. Colton Morris still on his haunches, waiting for someone to say something to him. Play continues without it. Well, it was a strong appeal, Matt Murray.
I thought I saw that stretch of the shirt, maybe went down a bit theatrically, but looked like a pen to me.
Play continues at the other end. Here come Hull City trying to find a goal back to halve the deficit. Under the lights here at the MKM. Cross coming in.
Look at that reaction.
He's right in the grill of the referee, Carlton Morris.
He's going to get a yellow.
And he's going to get a yellow card. Out comes the yellow from James Livington. In fairness to the referee, he was on the blind side of that. So if there was, the wrestling to the ground that he may not have seen it.
That player reaction. So when we saw Estepinian go down before, he knew it was never a penalty. That was the reaction of a player who was convinced. And my initial thoughts were, well, certainly seen them given for a lot less than that.
2-0 it remains to Luton Town. Talksport 2. It's in midfield at the moment. Hull trying to build something, but to no avail. Now Osho, substitute at the back, bringing it out of defence and still going before he's eventually dispossessed by Regan Slater. There's a moment of temporary excitement for the Luton defender. It's not had an awful lot to do in this second half. Here's Coyle trying to work it down the line. Nice ball down the touchline for Tufan, but just a little bit beyond him after the sliding challenge came in from Potts. He'll have it back though, inside right. Doherty trying to attack the penalty area. Tufan trying to find some space for himself as it's worked back towards Christie. Christie with 3 white shirts around him, hasn't got an angle for a cross. Woods is trying to help out there, so is Longman. They've had to go back again here, Hull City, as the press and the pressure continues to come from Luton. Disciplined, organised, relentless from the away side. Is there going to be a gap opening up? Christie now with a cross in. Headed away by Lockyer. Woods being urged to shoot. Obliges. Blocked and then knocked behind by Amari Bell. 22 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Still Hull 0, Luton 2. The home fans perhaps more out of hope than belief, trying to urge their side to find a way back. A couple more changes to come. Sinnick's going to come on for his debut shortly. Seri's going to be involved as well as the corner comes into the near post. Adebayo meets it, still not clear in the 6-yard box. More wrestling in the penalty area. Longman claims he was fouled. Nothing doing, says the referee, and having not given one at one end, I'm not massively surprised that James Livington didn't really fancy that one, Matt. Right.
Yeah, and I think again it was more fans there, Pete, and you saw them coming together. It looked like a bit of a wrestle, but you haven't seen the whole player. Is it Longman? He hasn't really appealed that much. But it was still, Adebayo's very effective in that front hole, isn't he? He gets a lot of headers on the ball just into that front area. He's a big boy. But yeah, Hull will want to get these changes on, but decent bit of pressure. But again, Horvath wasn't seriously tested.
Doherty chip forward looking for Longman. 2 white shirts around him, deal with that for Luton Town, who continue to lead this one by 2-0. Coyle high towards the right hand side. Christie chasing it, Potts there first for Luton Town. 15,730 the crowd here as the double change comes now for the hosts. It's Longman who's going to come off, and on comes Sinnick, Turkish international, debut for him. He arrived injured. Woods also comes off. John-Michael Seri is on. As Andy Dawson tries to shake things up, tries to bring some life into this Hull City performance. They are still, credit to them, giving this a go, but in terms of quality they just really haven't been able to find a way to test Horvath in the Luton Town goal. Hitting the bar in the first half, Regan Slater. Tufan with that chance that he wasn't really expecting in the second. But credit to the Hull fans, staring a fifth defeat in a row in the face. They are trying to urge their team on. A bit of head scratching going on at the moment in the Luton technical area, as they try and react to these changes. Hasn't really changed much in terms of the system.
I think that's what they're checking, and then it's also for these Luton players now, when new players come on, who am I marking now? Things at set pieces, don't have that confusion.
Flick on from Adebayo towards Carlton Morris, left wing towards the edge of the box, step over to the byline, in towards the middle. This time it's met with a Hull City head. Jacob Greaves back there doing his job defensively, but Morris back with it again on the left wing. Options to aim for in the box if he can find space for himself. Right footed, in comes the in swinger. Seri back there, drops for Clark, one touch onto his left foot. Seri with the block. And as Luton going in search of a third. Cynic giving it away on the edge of his own penalty area. Lansbury with the sliding challenge, tried to find Adebayo, and it was just a couple of yards wide. The Luton man goes behind for a goal kick, but yet again Luton have not really been involved too much going forward, but when they do, another dangerous moment for Hull City.
Yeah, because there's a lot of white shirts in the box. They put the ball in with quality, and then when the ball's clear, they sort of ring fence the edge of the box and get the ball back. And yeah, some dangerous moments, and some good blocks there from Hull. And as I say, the more Hull commit bodies forwards, they're going to be susceptible.
Tufan trying to thread it through to Cynic, gets it back though as the sliding challenge wasn't effective enough. Cynic in the area now, trying to twist away from a couple of white shirts, can't do so. Christie picks up the loose ball, right hand side, few to aim for in the box, onto his left foot, goes for goal himself, just over the top there from Christie. Or a stuck of a paw just to make sure the angle was covered. It's about a yard or two over the top from the Hull City man. It remains Hull 0, Luton 2 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, I think the big American had it covered though, and again, you just look at, I just don't ever really see Luton out of balance. They get bodies forward, but they're still at the back, they look secure. And when you're in the Championship and you want to get out of it, you have to come in and put these performances in. Yeah, nick goals off set pieces and stuff like that, but then be organised, work hard and frustrate the home side. And I think Nathan Jones will be really, really pleased with his team so far.
Flick on from Morris, looking for Adebayo, who's used his body well again to win the ball on the left wing. Couldn't thread it through to Morris though, and it's cleared towards halfway. Potts picks it up. Tufan into his back. No foul, says the referee. And play will continue in the middle of the park for Hull City. I mean, if it carries on like this, it'll be a fourth win in 5 for Luton Town. Matt, do they look like a playoff team again this year to you?
Yeah, at the moment they do, yeah. And not saying, this is amazing football, just how well organised they are.
It's effective. Certainly away from home, they have got the job done so far. Osho coming across to try and block off a Hull attack, couldn't quite do so. Was helped out in the end by Bree, who sends it out for a throw. Taken quickly. The blonde-haired Seri in towards the feet of a teammate. It's then a blocked clearance from Campbell of his own man, behind for a corner. Just over 15 minutes to go for Hull to try and find a way. Seri standing over it. Once again, Luton, everybody back for the set piece. They've defended these so well so far. In it comes towards the middle of the 6-yard box, heading clear. The volleyed follow-up is blocked. Slater tries to whip it in towards the back post, and an outstretched boot there. As Alfie Jones tried to get something on it, got his right boot on it in the end, but it went behind for a goal kick, and the double change this time will come from Luton Town. And it's going to be Henry Lansbury, who has had an excellent game. Peli Rolokampanzu is coming on. This is a big moment for him. He's been out injured for 5 months, as Mpanzu. such an important player for Luton Town over the years since signing from West Ham back in 2014. Also coming on, Cameron Jerome as Carlton Morris makes way, and perhaps sensible with Morris on a booking and having a bit of a frustrating evening. And the experienced Cameron Jerome will try and see out the job for Luton Town this evening, with 14 minutes left on Talksport 2. Handshakes for Carlton Morris as he heads towards the tunnel. I mean, you do get that injection of quality when you bring on the likes of Seri, and it'd be interesting to see what Sinnock's like on his Hull City debut as well, Matt Murray, just to try and roll the dice a little bit, Hull City. I mean, have they been particularly aggressive in committing bodies forward in this second half? Have they really gone for it, do you feel?
There's times they've tried, but I just don't think they've been able to get any control really in the game, and I think it's more Luton and the way they've broken it up. But also I just do look at this Hull side and think, what is the real identity? Are they high press? Are they sitting back? And they're just sort of out there playing, but can't really see a style to their play, in or out of possession.
Hull got a throw far side. I mean, they had that toxic mix basically of not creating too many chances and conceding the most in the Championship. It's going to be a big job for whoever comes in. I mean, I could go through the list of bookies' favourites, but you won't have heard of them, Matt Murray. A lot of Turkish managerial experience is what is on the list at the moment, and quite frankly, if you think you know who it might be, well, far smarter than I am, is Coyle. Waiting really for an opportunity to put the ball in. Seri has to go square, 30 yards from goal now. Hull pick it up with Slater. Seri again trying to turn inside right channel. This is Coyle, who's, well, in fairness to him, got forward in the attack, but they've been forced back. Slater this time trying to find Christie wide on the right, and puts the pass straight out of play. And it's something of a familiar theme through the evening of passes going astray, of just things not really working for Hull City tonight.
Well, you saw Seri asked about the quality he brings, so he's looked to play forward, little balls around the corner then, good detail, but then it was, other players weren't able to then continue that momentum. And then for Slater there, he was looking, but yes, he's played the ball out of play, but he's looking for options, and there you got Hull players again in front of us here, just putting their arms up in the air. I think it's Doherty this time, but it's the press as well. Luton were just there, ratting away, not giving anyone any time. And if this Hull team are going to start climbing the league, they've got to be the same, really, really press with this intensity.
Christie just doing well to keep the ball in play for Hull City in his own half at that point. Osho, the substitute for Luton, dispossessed in the centre circle. Campbell trying to win it back, but across come Hull to intercept here. Seri looking for it square and short, but they've gone towards Coyle on the right hand side. Room to stretch his legs and run into it. Christie calling for it, putting his arm in front. In fact, the ball was just slightly behind Christie, and he wasn't really allowed to run onto it. Across came Amari Bell to cut out the danger, put it out for a throw in here. Hull 0, Luton 2 it remains. 11 minutes to go on Talksport 2 as Coyle goes towards Christie again, but this time it's cleared by Luton Town. There wasn't really much going on with that throw as Coyle finds Christie in a slightly deeper position here. The crowd growing frustrated that the ball's going backwards and not forwards. Picked up by Alfie Jones, scorer of that own goal that gave Luton the lead in the 6th minute. Very unfortunate one. The moment of quality coming from Lansbury 2 minutes into the just 2 minutes from the end of the first half. So it's cleared off Coyle, and Luton have just sucked the energy out of yet another Hull City attack, which broke down, and then they were just squeezed to death there, really, weren't they, Hull City?
Yeah, and then look at the time, he's just there. Is it Dan Potts taking that throw?
Yep.
Certainly not in a rush. He's going to work the line, everything else, but Luton won't care. Horvath has not had a serious save to make this half.
North London derby to come on Talksport tomorrow for you. Arsenal Spurs from 12:30 on Game Day Live, and then we go around the grounds on Talksport with Adrian Durham, and on Talksport 2 tomorrow afternoon, Graham Potter's first Premier League match in charge of Chelsea. He takes them to Crystal Palace. That's live for you on Talksport 2. Plenty to come across the network through the week. The Champions League back on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. More action from the EFL on Wednesday night as well, with Watford Swansea to come. But here we are seeing Luton professionally seeing out this game. This time it's Amari Bell taking his time over a throw deep inside his own half. Work down the line. And this time put out a play for a Hull City throw. You're looking for some urgency from Hull City, and Doherty provides it to Coyle. Coyle looking for a chip down the line. Tufan really wasn't going to go for it with his head there, so it was a pretty easy win for Potts at the back. Jerome just putting a little bit of pressure on Jacob Greaves, and that was enough to see him put the ball out of play, and the game just deteriorating at the moment with 8 minutes to go. And you start to wonder at what point the Hull players are just starting to lose a little bit of belief here, Matt Murray, that they can find a way.
Yeah, they have to start taking a few more risks as well, because they're going to lose 3-0, but if maybe lose 3-0, but or just get out there, get that goal, because if they get that goal, it really, really will change the momentum. Look, all the players, there's nobody stretching the play. Tufan's coming short, there's no one there. You're looking at the whole box, a bench. None of their players have really come on and impacted it, shown pace, someone who can get in behind, and I think Seri's the only one who's come on and given them a little bit of control. But yeah, Hull have got to start going for it, because as you say, they do look devoid of confidence, devoid of belief.
Yeah, and in terms of what they've got in forward areas at the moment, Tyler Smith, the only other fit recognised striker, he's not in the squad this evening. Benjamin Tete is injured. Aliar Sayed Manesh injured. Players that they would have hoped would have brought a little bit more to them this season, and at the moment they're not able to employ them. Sliding challenge comes in as Adebayo goes down and stays down, and I just wonder if he's going to take this opportunity to slow the game down yet further, getting to his feet rather than taking treatment. Adebayo, but he's put in a shift this evening again, running the channels relentlessly, just putting Hull City under pressure time and again. Osho now with the ball at his feet, right-footed, tries to see the goalkeeper off his line. That was a cheeky effort. It's gone behind for a corner as Baxter had to scramble there. Osho from 45 yards trying to catch him out at his near post. Baxter alive to it, but only just, Matt Murray.
And you saw Osho just put his hands over his mouth, because he's thinking, oh, I nearly got him then. Because I was looking at it thinking, is that such a... No, first of all, it was a really poor cross, but he's gone for that. He's seen him, because most goalkeepers would be threatening with their starting position. You have to credit Baxter there. He's actually made a few decent saves tonight. But yeah, a really, really audacious effort.
Well, what a goal we might have seen, and couldn't have imagined it would top Lansbury's, but well, maybe it would have done if it had crept in. Corner cleared towards the edge of the area, and now Hull trying to get it further away. This time it's fallen to the feet of Luton Town in Adebayo, and he's gone for the strike, which was blocked. Hull clearing their lines just about. Doherty will win a free kick. 6 minutes to go, and arms crossed from Andy Dawson, as I think he is starting to think the jig might be up here. Coyle hasn't given it up just yet. Finds Christie on the right wing. Into midfield and Seri. Plenty of space for the former Fulham man. Goes square through the centre circle. Greaves out towards the left-hand side, and Callum Elder. But again, forward movement. What have they got going forward, Hull City? There's not really an awful lot to aim for. Across the back they go to Coyle again. Just inside the Luton half, but back into their own territory. Jones across to Greaves, bit of space to run forward, but the pressure will come eventually, and indeed it does. And there's a bit of a mix-up there between a couple of Hull players. Greaves picks it up again, but with an out-and-out striker to aim for, it must be difficult to keep a defence honest as well, Matt Murray, because the ball over the top just isn't really an option for Hull now.
It's not. And again, they lose the play. But how patient were Luton there? So patient. Just kept sliding. No gaps between their ranks. And win it back.
4 minutes to go. Tufan trying to make something happen. No magic from him this time. It's Doherty with a low cross into the box. Cleared by Lockyer. Out for a throw. Luton just seeing this out at the moment. Coyle with the throw taken quickly towards Christie. There's a few of the Hull fans starting to make their way towards the exits. Shirt pull on Surrey. Play on, says the referee, who then calls it back after the pass from Surrey was intercepted. And so it's going to be a Hull free kick. Set pieces haven't really been their strong point tonight. Horvath has come and claimed everything. By the way, it's finished Mansfield 2, Hartlepool 2 in League 2 this evening. The only other game in the EFL. Surrey just places the ball. Horvath wanting a wall. Well, this is a good 30-35 yards out. And then there's a Luton player that wants a bit of treatment. I think that is Jordan Clark, who's just looking a little bit unsure. On his feet.
I think he took one in the face to you. I think as he's pulled back the player, I think the arms caught him. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of blood or
maybe
something like that. But obviously he was the offender in the incident. But as you say, they're not really threatened, have they, from their set plays? The ball's coming in and Luton have defended them well. But if they get a goal now, grandstand finish.
Well, 3 minutes to find, plus whatever's going to be added on. I imagine there will be a little bit to be added on here on Talksport 2. James Linton has booked a few players for time wasting in Luton shirts tonight. They're readying another change. There's Fred Onyedinma. It's going to be introduced at some point, although you would imagine they might wait until this free kick is taken if they can, although if Clark can't continue, he's having his shirt changed at the moment, which would suggest you're right about a blood injury. The referee's saying you can't do that on the pitch. He needs to go off. Luton needs to be down to 10 men while this free kick is taken, and then when the shirt's back on, he can come back on.
Yeah.
So Surrey's had a good 90 seconds to assess his options from this free kick. Luton holding a line on the edge of their own penalty area. Inside right for Surrey to whip in right-footed towards the back post. It's a Luton head that gets there first. Cameron Jerome on this occasion. Here's Slater though. Loose ball in midfield. Sends it out towards the left. As Cameron Jerome stands his ground brilliantly. Wins it back, and there could be a counter on for Luton here. Although great work from Elder, who got a boot in and has hurt himself in the process near halfway. Gets back to his feet. Clark is back on. As Luton Town waiting for Onyedinma to be introduced. Cornick might be coming on here actually. Onyedinma's going to be sat back down. I think Clark might be a little bit worse for wear. He's back on with a shirt on that has no number. And he's on the ball now, just on halfway, trying to flick it through towards Jerome. Jerome almost wrong-footing the defender, but Greaves was alive to the danger and is able to work it clear. Christie out towards the right-hand side, and that's a little bit too much to ask of his captain Coyle. And so the change is going to be different. Adebayo's coming off, and Cornick, a player Luton fans love to watch, is going to have 1 minute plus stoppage time to shine. What have you made of Adebayo tonight?
I think he's been excellent. I think he started right from the off. Obviously he played a big part in the goal. It's his effort to hit the bar, then went in off Jones. But I just think the way he's led the line, put himself about, and you can just see he looked like he was just cramping up. So they'll want to rest him now. He's got a full weekend and then into midweek, is it? Who are they?
Yeah, Huddersfield at home at Kenilworth Road. Next up for Luton Town,
and they owe them one, don't they, from the playoffs last season? So, and the other thing with Luton, they will get that home form going as well, and they look so good on the road. It's going to be another good away win, keeping clean sheets, playing well. So I think they'll be right up there.
5 minutes have been added on. The ball's been put straight out of play for a goal kick by Hull City as the board went up, just to sap a little bit more energy from the game. But this has been thoroughly professional from Luton Town. who are heading into the top 6. They're looking good for it. Hull City, until we know who they're going to appoint, it's kind of difficult to judge, but how much should Hull City fans worry at the moment? It is going to be a 5th straight defeat. They are just going to be a point outside the relegation zone.
Well, and they could be in the relegation zone by the end of the weekend, and I just think it looks concerning because, as you've said there, the strength in depth to come off the bench, not really sure, and then the energy levels and everything else, and who's going to come in and set up a team. This is what you have to be able to do, like what Luton are doing. You have to have both sides. So defensively they're really, really poor. Conceded some poor goals tonight from their point of view, and don't look really like scoring. So that formula is concerning. And then it'll be interesting to see how Huddersfield get on, because they've got a new manager, haven't they? There's a lot of managers. Watford, how are they going to look with Slaven Bilic? There's so much change already, so they have to get this next appointment right. They have to be strong with the identity they want to go with, and the profile of manager, the profile of players need to keep bringing in, but they've not looked great tonight.
Wigan are going to be the visitors to the MKM in midweek. As you say, Huddersfield making the appointment of Mark Fotheringham this week, coming in from Hertha Berlin, the former assistant there, to replace Danny Schofield. And there's quite a run of games actually for Hull City that we were talking pre-match about how important to the season they could be. Just the next 3 are Wigan, Huddersfield, and then Birmingham as well. Yeah. I mean, they're games you're going to have to pick up points unless you really want to get yourself in trouble.
Season they early, but they have massive games, because I do feel at the moment in this run of form they've got to be looking to pull away from that relegation zone.
It'll be interesting to see how quickly they make an appointment, Hull City, and how planned this all was, having decided that Shota Arveladze was not on the same wavelength as the owner, and having taken the entire international break to decide that as well.
That's a bit that I can't get my head around. I really can't.
Well, he was talking, Shota Arveladze, in his press conference, which he did on Wednesday before they sacked him, that they'd had meetings, they'd had discussions about the way forward, and clearly there's disagreement over what the way forward is from manager and owner. And if that relationship is not there, and if it has broken down, or they don't see it the same way, you have to make that decision. Even if, would it almost be worse if you didn't believe in your head coach and you gave them another game?
Oh yeah, look, if you're going to do it, you got to do it. But you just feel like, why are those meetings and decisions taking so long to come to this conclusion, when somebody else could have had a little stamp and put a few sessions into this team, even if it was with set pieces or something like that might have made the difference. So I just think, and then just to do it on the day of the game, it's just really, I think it's very disruptive. And but look, the owners have put their money in, it's their club, it's their choice. Maybe they know stuff that we don't, but from the outside looking in, I just feel it's strange.
Well, 3.5 minutes of added time have passed without incident here, as Hull try and find a way to get a consolation at least. Here is Christie attacking the byline on the right hand side, hits the ball into Amari Bell, and then it hits Christie on its way out, so they don't even win the corner. Another change coming for Luton. Clark, who's had an excellent evening in midfield, is going to be replaced by Fred Onyedinma.
Finally. He must have been thinking, how long do you get me on? I reckon Amari Bell must have flown business class, don't you? Because he doesn't look like he had any problems at all. So I think he's had his PJs on and a nice sleep on his bed.
On the red-eye flight from New Jersey.
Yeah.
That is, it's the time difference more than anything else as well, actually.
He's done well. A couple of little tasty challenges early on, and then all in all, I think he's defended very well.
I think Nathan Jones is saying you might have done some shopping in New York. I guess why wouldn't you if you're out there? This game petering out. Luton still leading by 2-0 on Talksport 2. In truth, this is a game that's been long over, and Hull City have been unable to crack this Hull City defence. And goalkeeper Horvath in the Luton goal has had precious little to do. Ball in midfield at the moment as plenty of black seats are emerging around the MKM. There's some boos as well at the moment from the home fans as Coyle lifts it towards the penalty area. Horvath's come, dropped it, but reclaimed it under pressure from Tufan. And he can barely walk now, Tufan. Socks starting to fall around his ankles. Sticking him up front on his own has not really had the desired effect. And there is the full-time whistle from James Luton. And the reaction tells you all you need to know about what the Hull fans thought of that performance. Hull 0, Luton Town 2. The goals coming in the first half. An own goal from Jones after a corner which was whipped in by Lansbury into Adebayo. His shot hit the underside of the bar and then it crashed into Jones, who just had to watch agonisingly as the ball trickled over the line. And then 2 minutes from half-time, a goal that was worthy of winning any game from Henry Lansbury. 30 yards out, half volley, daisy cutter, in off the inside of the post. Baxter, well beaten. And Luton controlled it from there. Very little that Hull City offered. Regan Slater hitting the bar in the first half. Tufan, the ball basically hit him as he wasn't expecting it with about 25 minutes to go. But really they've offered very little. Worrying times indeed for Hull, but Luton Town a fourth win in 5 into the top 5. Hull 0, Luton 2.